Hi, I'm Henry, and I'm the head of customer success here at Smart Scout. That means that it's my job to make sure you get the most out of your subscription. Today we wanted to talk about a part of Amazon that you might not be familiar with, but it can definitely save you some headache down the road. And that is Amazon's category gates, whether they be gated, partially gated, or not gated at all. Back in the old days, it was very much so a Wild West situation with Amazon. You could sell what you want, where you wanted it, and there weren't very many barriers. Nowadays, the company has tightened its windows a little bit, and it's not quite as easy to get into other areas of the marketplace. Not to worry though, that's why we're here. We're about to tell you all about how it is to get into a gated community, what you have to do to get there, and what the benefits can look like. Without further ado, let's start saving you some time and money. First, let's get some of the basics out of the way. For starters, what even is an ungated category? Amazon ungated categories are areas where you don't need any prior authorization to list your products. This is a really great jumping off point for beginner sellers. Just get in there, list your product, and you're good to go. No more red tape or hoops to jump through. We do want to mention that there are levels to the gates Amazon will put down in some of their categories. Sometimes an entire category may not be gated, but there will still be certain brands or products that are. This means that you've got to look a little bit more carefully in some of them, because you got to make sure that even though the category is open to anybody, the product or the brand that you're looking to sell is as well. While Amazon has gotten more strict as time has gone on, there are still 24 different categories that have some degree of no gates for new sellers. These are perfect if you're just starting out, because you don't need to jump through any hoops or follow any hidden rules to be able to get your products listed on these marketplaces. Now that we've laid down what the ungated side of things looks like, it's time to dive into the opposite. What are gated categories, and how do they work? Simply put, a gated category is any section of Amazon where there's a barrier or a gate to entry. These aren't categories where you can just walk in there and sell any product you want. You're going to need to pass through some authorization checks from Amazon if you want to be able to put up your items here. These are going to include things like groceries, medical supplies, or beauty and personal care, to name just a few. In cases like these, Amazon's approval sequence will require you to insert some things like additional information, certification, or supplementary documentation that can prove you have what it takes to provide these products in a safe and quality assuring manner. Now you may be wondering, just what do all of these requirements look like? Well, the fact of the matter is, it's going to vary depending on what category you want to break into. For example, clothing and jewelry might require you to meet a certain quality threshold to ensure that it's exactly what the customer wants. On the other hand, toys and games could require you to meet certain safety criteria to ensure that the kids who play with the toys aren't going to get hurt. Normally, the application for this will normally involve something like invoices, product information, or a safety certificate, as well as proof that you can play by Amazon's rules. The most important thing for them is that they want to know that you will be able to abide by their policies. Before we move on, we want to make sure that you guys know that this is something that can change frequently. Amazon loves to switch things up on people at the drop of a hat. So you got to make sure that you're finding all of the different tiers and all of the different criteria that they make you meet. Be sure to check up on it regularly, because what's okay one day might not fly the next. The long and short of it is pretty simple. A gated category has a couple things you got to do before you can sell there. You got to give Amazon some documentation and get approval from them before you can sell your products. Ungated is a lot easier. You can access it with little to no issue. Other than a couple brands or products, there's nothing to stop you from jumping feet first into the category and selling your products. Now some of you may be wondering, why does this even exist? Why has it got to be so hard? And why can't I just sell my products? There's a couple reasons for it, and Amazon has been pretty good about detailing them. One of the first ones is that it's a quality control issue. There's some times when people sell counterfeit products, and sometimes that can reflect poorly on Amazon. This way, they can make sure that the only things that are selling certain of those categories are sellers who are reputable. Another thing could be to maintain customer trust. If you want to make sure that Amazon is going to be reliable and that customers are going to feel safe coming to buy their products there, then you want to make sure that not just anyone can walk in and sell their discount jewelry. This is another great way that Amazon helps the customer feel safe and helps them get the best quality product. And another one that can happen is it's a safety issue. There can be some very sensitive products that you can sell on Amazon, and we want to make sure that nobody gets hurt or that nothing illegal gets done. Because of this, Amazon makes very, very sure that the only people who are selling some sensitive materials are the ones who are authorized to do so. Now, we here at Smart Scout don't believe in just throwing you to the wolves with no kind of idea what to do. That's why we're going to walk you through exactly how you can go about getting yourself applied for selling these specific products. Step 1 is you're going to want to log into your Seller Central account. From there, you head to the Inventory tab and select Add a Product. Once you're there, it's time to search for the product that you want to sell. From there, click Show Limitations and then click Request Approval. From there, it's time to start filling out the Amazon Seller Request form. This is where the requirements can start to vary a little. From here, you'll need to include a couple different things, and they could be things like a letter from your supplier, an authorization note from the brand, or even an approval fee. Whatever it is, make sure that you get it and that it's correct. If your application is approved, you'll get an email from Amazon telling you that you're now ungated and you can sell in that category. If it's denied, try submitting your application again. Sometimes, a different Amazon rep will approve things that the last one didn't. Hooray! Now look, if I were you, I'd probably have a couple other questions so far, like how much does it cost to get ungated from Amazon? What do I do if a product is gated specifically? Or a couple others. And we'd love to take a moment to sit here with you and answer a couple of them for you right now. Typically, Amazon won't charge you any cost in order to get ungated. However, there are some categories, like clothing and jewelry, where they'll ask you for a $5,000 non-refundable deposit just to get in. Additionally, they might ask you to purchase some samples of the product so that you can be sure you can acquire it. And that's a way they ensure quality and consistency. If you want to know if a certain product is gated, there's a couple ways you can check it. The first is just by going to the list that Amazon themselves offers. It's updated pretty frequently, and you can check it as regularly as you want. The second way is to create a dummy listing yourself. If you do and try to list the product, they'll let you know if there's any limitations that will come up. And from there, just follow the same process we showed you earlier for getting approved. One of the biggest and most important questions is just how long is it going to take me to get approved? And we can tell you with absolute certainty that it depends. They can sometimes approve you within a few hours, or a few days, or a few weeks, or a few months. There is no consistency, and you just have to cross your fingers and hope that Jeff Bezos is feeling nice that day. Understanding gated and ungated categories is crucial to growth as an Amazon seller. It can help you identify cool niches, find interesting new products, and grow businesses in a way that you never would have thought of before. At the end of the day, understanding is the biggest thing. And with all these tips we've laid out for you here, you've got a really great blueprint to success. If you learned something new today, be sure to share the video with somebody who you think could benefit from it too. Or don't, it could just be our secret. Either way, here at Smart Scout, we're here to help you succeed, and we're here to help save you time and money. We'll see you on the next one.